Welcome into the Energy Tech Podcast presented by Opsite Energy. Today we are live from Tysons, Virginia at Inductive Automation's Data Center Discovery Day. Joining the show today we have Brooks Corfage, Sales and Integrator Program Lead with iGear. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hey Jeff, it is good to be here at Data Center Discovery Day with Inductive Automation's ecosystem right here in Tysons, Virginia. And, you know, part of that ecosystem includes the team at iGear. And so we have our guest. And so I want him to introduce himself. This is Brooks Corfage, like you mentioned. And Brooks, let me ask you, man, first of all, it's good to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you having me.
No, you were excited to be a part of this. You know, the company is a part of the ecosystem here with Inductive Automation, and that is great. And so from you, let me ask you this. First of all, what do you do there at iGear? And being part of the ecosystem, what do you think that means with Ignition?
Great question. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. That's a really cool opportunity. So I'm the Sales and Integrator Program Lead.
Yeah.
And really within Ignition, we're a verified provider within their technology ecosystem.
Okay.
So for us, it's really important over the last year and a half or so, building a overall connection and relationship with Ignition.
Right.
And being able to connect with likewise integrators that are involved in the program.
Yeah.
So being able to be part of the ecosystem, grow and develop within that is crucial to not only us, but overall the end user, making it a better experience for them.
Yeah, and so, you know, I think, we're going to talk a little bit soon here. We're going to be talking about Squeaks. Bring that up here. So we'll be talking about that. Now, that's a symbol, but it is a product line here for iGear, which is Squeaks. We'll talk about that in a bit. Before I do that, walk us through just what iGear brings to the table in terms of the ecosystem with Ignition.
Yeah, so Ignition launched this ecosystem of technology providers, and we're one of those. So we have our own technology that we create and develop internally. Out of Louisville, Kentucky is where we're based out of. Yeah. And so our technology, though, is very tightly integrated with Ignition. So we have a new module that we're building within Ignition to make it even easier for our end users and customers to tightly integrate our platform with Ignition and get the full value with less complexity. Yeah,
so tell us what that is. Tell me how that brings value to the business.
Good question. So really, for us, it's how do we drive value for the end user? And the more integrated we can be with other technologies that they're already using at the OT level is very important instead of trying to rip and replace.
Yeah.
So we try to sit a layer above existing systems, and specifically, as you guys know, being here at the Ignition Conference, it's a platform widely used. So if we're able to seamlessly integrate with something and add value on top of it, instead of trying to replace it, has been crucial for our customers.
So when your customers come to you and they say, hey, we do want to bring, value to our business, I noticed, one of the mantras of iGear has been, no sooner, act faster.
Yeah.
Right? So that is it seems like that's a common thread, I'll call that, within the company. So from your current customer base, what kind of blind spots or things do you feel like you're solving for with your customer?
Good question. So a lot of our background comes from automotive, where time is money. Yeah. So if we can help teams be in the know sooner and act faster, we reduce downtime, which in turn is reduced in cost, and that's helps the overall bottom line. So for us, it's figuring out with integrating with platforms like Ignition, how do we notify people faster and have action steps and workflows to resolve issues and guidance around those incidents that are occurring on the shop floor that are usually abnormal and not a day-to-day kind of activity.
Yeah, one of the groups, one of the personas that we touch, especially the Energy Tech Podcast does, Brooks, is so you have a technical group, okay? So you've got your supervisor control, your SCADA groups, OT, engineering, but for whatever reason, when we start talking about these technologies with iGear included, you have this layer of people. They are not the CIO. They are not the CTO. Some of them aren't even engineers. Really what they are is they're this layer of operational folks that have been given a budget to make decisions about how they're going to leverage technologies for their business to drive a competitive advantage, or it could be to save money. You're either doing one of two things, right? You're either saving money, killing that overall cost, or you're putting out more products, you're creating a competitive advantage for yourself, right? So
Definitely.
give me an example of where, hey, this is where iGear coupled with Ignition, and then we use our platform to deliver a simple product that adds value.
Good question. That's kind of where Squeaks starts to fit in. So we
Okay.
believe machines detect problems,
Yeah.
people detect problems, but Squeaks manages the response layer.
Okay.
So between event detection, so let's say an abnormal condition's met, like a breaker is flipped on or off.
Yeah.
When that condition's met, that's really where we fit in. Of how do we direct that to the right person,
Right.
have guided steps and workflows to drive action, and then
Right.
more importantly, capture a digital thread.
Right.
So we can report and analyze where there might be gaps and inefficiencies where we can improve on. And so what we're trying to do is close that gap between event detection and resolution with our Squeaks platform.
Got it. So it sounds to me like when you use something, when you're talking about Squeaks, really what you're doing is if we can reduce mean time to repair based on an alarm that I might get,
Yeah.
then overall I'm going to save money, right? Or I'm going to create that competitive advantage to push out more products, right?
Exactly, that's spot on.
And so when you do that, what can a customer expect to get? Like, is this, when we say Squeaks, we talk about iGear, how does that start with a customer?
Good question. Normally it comes down to like a POC, a proof of concept.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times operations get frustrated when maybe their alarms are just kind of set and forget.
Yeah.
And they want to have a more sophisticated way of being able to not only detect alarms and direct them to the right people, but drive accountability and action. And that's where they are able to utilize our technology to do a proof of concept with specific teams or users on a line that might have different types of technologies or operational tools that they're wanting to track.
Yeah.
And with our technology sitting on top of it, they're able to then get that visibility that they were lacking prior to.
Yeah, I got it. So let me ask you this, right now, if someone can expect that relationship with iGear, you mentioned a POC,
Yep.
right? So you talked about that. But what are some of the challenges and blind spots you think your customers might be seeing that you guys are solving a little bit?
Good question. I think it's around a good way to go about this would be give an example. So one of our customers that uses Ignition heavily, they're in the airport industry, very different industry, but they use Ignition.
Sure.
Same challenge in the operational perspective. They are trying to figure out between an incident occurring to when it was resolved, where are they losing time?
Right.
They don't know if it's the dispatcher taking too long to get it to the right assignee, or from there, are they having the right documentation, or the maintenance getting on site. And so with our tool, they're getting clear visibility of the problem resolution process, kind of the single source of truth of every step that's taken on the human response layer. So what they can really get is something that they never have from an operational standpoint, which is visibility of who's taking action and what steps are taken, and then how can they improve on their overall process now that they have a real data set.
Yeah. And so when you guys deliver this data set, it sounds to me like you guys are using Ignition perspective or Ignition, right, as a whole. Do you give your customers mobility with that as well? Like, is it, hey, we put this on the floor, the operations floor? Or is it, now we actually have some mobile capabilities as well?
Yeah, good question. So you could install it on-prem or in a VM. We have our own application called Squeaks, and you can download iOS or Android.
Right.
And then we also have this module that we're now building in Ignition. So we're very open to however you want to be able to view and analyze your data and interact with it.
Yeah.
But a lot of our customers use our application. And then one other note, we have a Microsoft Teams add-on. So if people are using Teams, they can get alarms that are coming from Ignition in their Microsoft Teams, a platform they may be using every day.
Wow. So let me ask you, going into that, just not, I don't think there's anything super technical, but I do want to ask you, what are your customers saying about artificial intelligence? Obviously, there's conversations happening. What is it that you're hearing?
Good question. It wouldn't be a conversation if we didn't bring it up, right?
Right.
But for us, I think it's being able to open up this data that we're collecting that could then be reviewed and analyzed by AI to more efficiently determine where those inefficiencies are. And that's something that we're working towards, to be able to ask questions, figure out who the better responder is, instead of just blasting out alarms. How do we actually channel those to the right people? And I think having a feedback loop with AI will help us.
Yeah, I think you're right. And, one of the things I was thinking about is, even if we didn't have AI, how do you think iGear proves its impact for, we'll pick three things: downtime, response time, and throughput?
Downtime, response time, and throughput. So the first one, downtime, for us is when something abnormal occurs.
Yeah.
Today, at least in automotive, what we see a lot of is an and-on. So the ability to display data or put it on a stack light. It's very open loop, so there's usually more downtime because no one knows who's accounting for that said alarm or incident.
Right.
So we're able to reduce downtime by just getting it to the right team faster.
Yeah.
So that's one. The second question, if you don't mind.
No, I think so.
reiterating.
The second topic was just around response time. Have you seen, hey, if a customer puts this in place in practice, yeah, we're going to pick up that downtime, but what about response time, right? Is it something you guys are shaving down to?
Definitely. I think those go kind of hand in hand for us, because if we can reduce response time to these alarms and incidents by having more of a human and-on, setting that alarm to the mobile device,
Got it.
then we're able to reduce the overall downtime. And the second piece to that is within our workflows, you can add things like troubleshooting guides, documentation, more rich multimedia to help those that are responding to an incident that keeps happening have a quicker overall resolution to that process.
And then what it sounds like after that, it's just it's pure throughput, especially in automotive, right? If we're just talking about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You know, you're obviously here at Data Center Discovery Day, and in your mind, you're here because I think you see value in what iGear and Squeaks can do for the market. In your mind, how do you think that fits? Like in terms of a vision, if you're, how do you feel like you connect the dots?
Yeah, I think speaking to end users and integrators here has really helped us.
Yeah.
But a couple points I've heard is being able to really channel critical alarms to the right people, because downtime's still important, extended visibility is still important into the data center world. So being able to do that in an efficient manner and channel only things that pertain to you is very important. And then the second piece of driving action. So I think it's the same message. It's just a little bit of a different in goal or in story from that take.
Okay, and so you're obviously here, Data Center Discovery Day. You've been sitting on some of the sessions. Right now, give me kind of some of your takeaways that you think personally you're taking away from here.
Yeah, no, I think it's been really neat. I think similar to what we took away from ICC is Ignition has really built a community around their technology, but more importantly, the integrators, the end users, sharing ideas and opportunities to grow as an overall ecosystem.
Yeah.
So for us, it's just really growing and exploring how we can continue to drive value within the Ignition ecosystem is what I'm taking away.
Yeah, and, tell me about, without giving away secret sauce here, what's the future of iGear, man? What do you see coming along? Obviously, you got something. Things are happening because you're a young guy. It looks like iGear's definitely an Ignition partner, and Ignition doesn't partner with just anybody. So tell me what you think is the vision for iGear, as well as what you see coming up.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think for us, a big component of the vision for iGear is how do we more seamlessly integrate with technologies that customers are using. So Ignition, it was a perfect fit for us because our platform's very open, Ignition's very open. So I think what they saw is the fact that we're not trying to be the one-stop shop from our Squeaks platform. We're trying to bolt on to their tool and really improve the overall experience for the end user. So from the Ignition perspective, we're just going to continue and evolve in that. And I think our new incident reporting will help really operational leaders see the actual response times, the overall where they're losing time in the workflow summary. So from the Ignition perspective, Travis Cox, shout out to him. He's been very helpful setting up Ignition screens on their end that we can then integrate with, especially with our new module. We're going to probably do a webinar to discuss more about how that's driving real overall operational efficiency and improvement on that front.
So if a customer wants to get into a proof of concept scenario, right, it sounds like what they can expect is for your team to visit with them, your team to conduct a sort of assessment in terms of, it sounds to me that you're gearing towards a few things. One might be alarm management. The other might be metrics for downtime. Those might be metrics that you're looking at for response, mean times. It's really what you're looking at. But having said that, at the same time, how does a customer reach out to you guys? What's a good way?
Yeah, you could find us. Our company's called iGear. You look up Squeaks, you'll also find it. My name's Brooks Corfage, so you're always able to look up myself. But my email's brooks.corfage@igear.com. Feel free to reach out. Love to have a open exploratory conversation.
Yeah.
And the only other thing else I'll note, you mentioned the metrics.
Yes.
We also have this idea of creating no-code dashboards.
Okay.
So working hand in hand with Ignition, you could take Ignition metrics or Squeaks metrics and send them back and forth. The reason that's important is a lot of our end users want an easy way to spin up a dashboard that has Ignition data, but not have to rely on a developer in Ignition. So it allows more people to view Ignition data and analyze that data.
Wow. So would you call that a little bit of drag and drop, or is it?
It is a drag and drop. It's no code. It's easy to pull Ignition data or other data you want to showcase, and you can view that again on your mobile device. So not trying to replace, but if you're rolling out Ignition across your corporation and you want more people to be able to view and analyze that data, it gives them easier access to do so without having to bog down that developer.
Yes. No, I think you're right. I think that's an easy solution because not everything requires a deep dashboard. A lot of times you're looking for something today, you're looking at something weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, that you really want to grab quickly, right? Even if it is ad hoc, right? Ad hoc data, sometimes in operational groups, that's okay because why? It's still the same version of the truth. So you're not changing much. The data's still there. It's especially if it's Ignition, that tells me that there are some UDTs in the background. It's really about making it easy for operators to leverage what they see in a descriptive dashboard, right? To give them insights to make decisions, right? And I think that's a plus. I want to ask you one last thing because we talked about this, before we came on. You guys have a little history, and I want you to talk about that. And the reason I'm asking is because people that come on here, the Energy Tech Podcast, we want to make it so that when people want to trust who they're working with. But you guys have a really great story and relationship. Can you share that just a little bit?
Yeah, we're family found. So my father found it with a whole group about 20 years ago. So whether it's industrial, a lot in automotive, and also mission critical, we've been around. We understand how important it is that your technology actually follow through. And we've been working with customers for over 20 years. And so we're very keen to that aspect. And our development team, too, is also another family that's involved. So very, very personal in terms of trying to be able to grow and scale. But we have big vision, and that's why we're excited to partner with companies like Ignition that really see that vision as well.
So what I'm hearing is if you want some strong partnership with a history of family that's meaningful, that's going to deliver basic products that are going to define your operation and really help you, and in some cases give you drag and drop capability, it sounds like that's what iGear does.
Yeah, it's a great starting point.
Yeah.
So always trying to build and grow on what you've currently developed and deployed, but just trying to add quick value and make it easy for the end user to actually get to utilize something that like Ignition and the data that you're able to create.
Man, that sounds cool. And I like that. And with that, we're going to come to a close. Man, it was good to have you here.
Thank you, Mike.
Again, they're an Ignition partner, which is iGear. And you can find them here at Data Center Discovery Day. We'll post a couple of links, iGear.com, super easy, or Squeaks. You can look them up. I am your co-host with the Energy Tech Podcast, Mike Flores, right here at Data Center Discovery Day 2026 with Brooks Corfage with iGear. Thanks, man. That was good.
Thank you, Mike.